adolescence. Hey/X/. I'm stuck at work with nothing to do, so I figured that I would unload some experiences from my adolescence that have remained more or less unexplainable. I'm hoping that someone here might find them interesting and/or offer a potential explanation. Be me, 8 or 9 years old at the beach with my family. Playing with my mom in the sand, building sand castles and shit. Decide to dig a really deep hole for whatever reason. As I'm digging, I begin to hear a distinct high-pitched ringing noise, similar to tinnitus. Eventually, move away some sand to see something bizarre in the hole. There's a face staring straight up at me from the sand. Face looks faintly human but a bit flatter, and seemed to be coated with an outer layer of sand, rocks, shells, and other beach debris. The face had 2 small beady black eyes, no discernible nose, and a long thin mouth lined with tiny needle-like teeth like a piranha. Basically looked like an evil beach-themed version of the Thing from Fantastic Four. I vividly remember the eyes blinking several times, and its mouth moving, causing it to squirt out a few small spurts of liquid, presumably water. After staring at it for a long moment, my mom extends her hand to touch it for some reason. As she's about to touch it, the face begins to undulate, sending a sizable glob of sand falling down the hole, obscuring the thing. We tried to dig it back up, but it had disappeared completely. I've tried figuring out what the thing I saw was, but yet to come across anything that resembled the face in the sand. Does anyone have a similar experience or know what that thing could have? Another story, unrelated but still strange. Be me, a year or 2 later. Friend is sleeping over at my house. It's late, everyone is sleeping besides me due to issues falling asleep. Laying awake, looking out the window. It was a cloudy night, so the moon, stars, etc. weren't visible. Suddenly, I see a bright flash of white light in a fixed spot in the sky. The flash then morphs in shape and color, greatly resembling photos of a supernova. It looked like a suspended explosion, wrapped in pink, white and blue, green light. As soon as it appeared, it implodes in on itself, leaving no trace whatsoever. I've never seen or heard of anything like that happening to the naked eye before. Also, I live in the south, so I really doubt it was an aurora or anything like that. What did I see/X/? An alien ship? The government shooting something out, or the atmosphere? Anyways, thanks in advance for reading, and for any possible ideas you have as to the origin of these things. Also, feel free to post any of your own stories, or screencaps of ones you've found interesting in the past. Father-in-law died in a motorcycle accident. Next morning visit mother-in-law with my wife. She talks about 2 pictures on a table by the window. Oh, he always hated the pic on the left, I always put it back when he put it away. Pic on the right false. I'll share one I remember from when I was very young. There is no jump scare or monster, just something creepy from my early youth. Be child. Too young to be in kindergarten. Have an imaginary friend. His name is Ghost. No red flags there, am I right? Be laying in my room in the dark one night. Parents told me it was time for bed. I wasn't having any of that. Laying on the floor with pillows and blankets because I thought it was cool. Kinda felt like I was camping. Talking to Ghost. He says he want to show me his family. Look under my dresser and can clearly see all these ghostly white, and spectral green disembodied heads. Did not look pleasant. Like they were shrunken or beheaded or something. They didn't move or say anything, just kinda sat there. I can still vaguely see them to this day when I think about it, but can't describe how they looked much better than that. Too young to think it's weird or be scared. Just accept it. Ghost wants to sleep over. Tells me I have to ask my parents. I go to the top of the stairs and holler down to the living room where my parents were. Mommy, Daddy, can Ghost sleep over? There is a pause. Dad yells back up something like, yes, just go to bed. Excited, go back and tell Ghost. And that's about it. I live near an abandoned psychiatric hospital, we will refer to it as Psych, and have had some super strange experiences. This is one of my later experiences. Be me in high school with friends. We get off the bus and immediately head to Psych so we can smoke. Me and 4 others, RJ, Tom, Lucas and Devin. Head into building, everything seems normal. Start heading for the roof. RJ and I are having a conversation separate from group but still following behind. I need to tie my boots, RJ and I hang back. Finish tying up then realize the group is nowhere to be seen or heard. After hastily trying to catch up to group in only direction they could have went we call to them. Somehow they are now on the opposite side of the building about 3-4 floors above us. We catch up with group and think nothing of it even though the building is huge. Get to the roof and spark the joint but everybody seems kind of jumpy for some reason. I distinctly hear footsteps the entire time. Nobody else hears them. I'm starting to make everybody nervous. Finish the joint and decide to exit the building because we're all sort of jumpy. Get to the exit and Lucas is last one out. Lucas yells "Oh what the fuck" and presents a scratch all the way down his forearm. Lucas is kinda retarded so we thought he scratched himself as he jumped out the exit. Exit is a window about 7-8 feet high up with debris piled up in front to get in and out. We begin conversating again and forget everything that just happened. After all we are outside the building, home free right? All of a sudden we hear what sounded like an EMP from a sci-fi game ring out all around us and at the same time we see an orange wave basically scan over the entire landscape around us. All of us fucking running for our lives. Naturally running in a single file line. Devin who is directly in front of me goes "Oh shit" and falls on his ass while looking at something to his right. I look where Devin is looking and have the exact same reaction. Oh shit. There's a figure probably somewhere around 5 feet 9 inches. Pitch black with radio static around it, feels horrible to look at, I still get crazy chills when I think about it. I pick Devin up and we catch up with the group again down trail. In the woods, none of us are talking, just want to get home. Woods are eerily quiet except for one bird that is repeatedly singing a strange tune all the way up to the exit. That's the most blatantly supernatural experience I've had, and it was in the building we still think of as the safe house on the property. I've had plenty more, this was one of my first Greentexts. Maybe I'll put another story into text someday. I have this strange memory of being like, maybe 6. Oh fuck it, short Greentext. Be me, 6 years old. Sleeping in bed with parents for reasons I can't remember. Parents both asleep, I'm lying awake for what felt like hours. Suddenly, I hear singing, clear as day, coming from right outside the bedroom window. I'm the monster on the windowsill, I'm the monster on the windowsill. I lie frozen, thinking if I move it will somehow know I'm awake and get me. Eventually I must have fallen asleep. Next morning I ask Dad, was that you singing last night? He has no idea what I'm talking about. It must have just been a dream. But I can still remember the song and cadence it was sung. And I distinctly remember thinking, what's a windowsill? Be me. Like 14 or 15, summer before 10th grade year, so like 2013 I think. Been staying up all night like I do every night in the summer because unhealthy gamer. I never missed sleep, just had a near nocturnal sleep schedule and had done that shit like every summer since I was like 11, so no hallucination. Walk out into living room, stretching, yawning, etc., just moving about and shit, like 7 a.m. Walk past couch full of random shit from the basement, moving soon. Sister's old Leapfrog brand leap pad goes off and starts making the intro song like when you would open it. This was an early 2000s children's electronic learning toy that was interactive and would read you stuff, tell if you got your answer right, etc. Looks like Picroll, not sure how new the image I'm using is. Isn't supposed to make noise when closed, God knows how long it's been since it's been used, shocked that it even could make noise, and then it hit me that it shouldn't be. I did nothing that would have bumped it or anything, didn't touch it to make it do anything, etc. Just walked past it and stared at it for like a minute, kinda freaked out. Take it back downstairs in the basement. I sleep. Freaked me out, but I was real tired. Disu. Might post more, I don't know. Leapfrogging on here, may have posted this one before but I don't know, can't remember. Be me, small toddler. Used to go visit grandma on my dad's side, nice old lady, kinda odd but nice. Lived in giant as historic house that my gay uncles bought her. House is on a mural on the back of a plaza in town, Dexter, Missouri. Used to always bring my ball and play with it up and down the hallway right in front of the door. On that hallway was a staircase that went up, always gave me weird ass vibes and I would try to never go up, couldn't even bring myself to look up the stairs all the way, just acknowledging it filled me with intense dread. House is old historic roadhouse I think, there are many bedrooms upstairs. Years pass. Have dreamed that I am upstairs in the upper hallway with the bedrooms. Dad comes running through and a demon was chasing him and jumped on his back. Demon looked like the skeleton thing from Pikeroll meme, shadowy black mass of a body and had a normal skull as a face with a spiky black shadowy hair/helmet-like mass on the cranium. Jumps on my dad's back and starts to push him down. Dad goes on, help me on. Wake up freaked out. Few more years pass, grandma has passed. Go up to the house to look around and see what we have to do etc, like 7 or so this time. Family going up the stairs. I am unsure, very hesitant. Bitch, mom made me go up anyway. Intense anxiety and dread still. Get up to the top, the upper hallway which I have never been up to in my entire life prior to that looks exactly as it did in my dream, lots of white doors and oldie-timey green wallpaper, nice door trim etc. Fucking jaw drop stunned, couldn't fucking believe it. Fast forward to a few years ago. 20, on the phone with dad one night. He gets to talking about his mom. Start talking about how nice the old house was, you can't get them built like that anymore etc. Mentioned how that staircase used to always scare the shit out of me as a kid. Said he remembers me being really scared of it every time we would go. Told him about that dream I had, described the demon in detail. He goes, it's funny you mention that. Aw fuck no. PNG. Says one time before I was born he was passing through and stopped in to visit mom. Started to rain real fucking bad, he didn't wanna be caught up in that on the road anyway. Apparently the walls were super thick and made in dimensions that they don't really do anyway more, and there was brick underneath the wallpaper and shit on all the walls, and he could still hear the rain pouring the fuck down, and normally you wouldn't hear rain. Goes to sleep upstairs in a random bedroom, mom just told him to make himself at home. Sleep. Wakes up at like 2 a.m. Closet is open, wasn't open before. Just staring into the black mass of the closet. Think he sees movement, like a shadow moving amongst the shadow of the interior. Is real freaked out now. Suddenly a skull face with spiky black shadowy head slowly rises up from the foot of his bed and stares at him. Dad freaks the fuck out, pulls himself up and starts rebuking him in the name of Jesus Christ etc. Family was Pentecostal and very much so. Goes on and on shouting, rebuking it for like a minute, it does not move, just stares unaffected. Some time passes and my dad is about to fucking lose it. In a deep growly voice it says, I just wanted to make sure. And sunk back down. No movement past then, no sound. Just sank past view behind the bed. Dad stayed up until sunlight. Never told anyone about it until he told me that night. I worked as a fish and game trooper in Oregon for a few years. Quit eventually because I highly underestimated the amount of negative encounters you have with hermits on the river. If they're not shooting at you from a bush, they're screaming for help and dying after being attacked by something or plugging up some waterway with their corpse. The only paranormal thing I've seen in my life, and I'm sure of what I saw, was a white birch along the shoreline of a river I was surveying. I'd gone up that river a lot and had never seen it before. It was a pretty hot day in the summer and I was looking for typical shoreline damage and erosion from the winter months, A lot of those ways don't get traveled for almost a full season or two by anyone who will report the important stuff. I was surveying the river far ahead through some binoculars and I saw this white birch standing out. It wasn't far enough away that it could have been something else. I could easily see the textures and black eyes of its bark. I was getting bad vibes from it, and I tend to rely a lot on my paranoid intuition. I stopped and paid attention to the area around me because I thought it might be my subconscious letting me know a hermit was nearby. I looked back and could see the birch with my naked eye, and focused toward it because something was off. At this point I noticed the entire area had been completely quiet when normally there were cicadas chirping, birds screeching, and grass moving around. I didn't notice when it had gone quiet, but I could barely hear the river below when I heard it clear before. I saw that the tree was moving off in the distance. First I had assumed it was heat waves, but when I looked through my binoculars I could clearly see it making an S-shaped bend, and then the inverse, back and forth in a bouncing pattern for what felt like a solid minute. I didn't take my eyes off it, but at some point I felt like I had missing time and it was gone. Everything was back to normal after. Long time lurker, first time posting, so don't eat me alive. I have only ever told this to people that are close to me since it sounds kind of unbelievable, but why the fuck not? I need to set the scene first, so this may get long. I've never Greentexted, so here goes nothing. Be me. About 21 years old. Living with my then girlfriend in some fucked up apartment deep in the worst part of town. Be working at generic pizza joint for slave wage. Girlfriend and I drink a lot and smoke a lot of weed and cigarettes. Goddamnitix.jpg. Because we are constantly raiding in and out of consciousness, we tend to not give a fuck. We fight every night and have makeup wrestling every night. Toxic.Pokemon. All of the fighting chips away at my will to be with her, even though she cooks incredibly and was better in the sheets. Decisions.mp3. One day the fighting gets absurdly intense, and she spits on my face. What the fuck.mp4. Fuck this shit, I'm leaving. Grab a backpack and pack it with my essentials and get the fuck out of there. Go crash at mom's house cause I have nowhere else to go. Stupid ex-girlfriend now throws all of my shit away. What the fuck ever. I don't want anything to do with that woman anymore. Now the weekend and I have to go slap the shit out of some pizzas early in the morning. Before opening the slave cage, I have to make sure that everything is in order for the hungry hippos. I check the waiting bench and I see a small black doll. Without thinking I grab it cause I think it may belong to a Karen's child and she might come back to speak to my manager. I look at the doll. It's a fucking voodoo doll. What the fuck.wav. Fucking voodoo doll has X written on it, and it even has pins inside it. This cannot be a coincidence. With very little fucks to give I throw it in the garbage outside. That same night, I go back to mom's since I haven't found a place to stay yet. Mom has company over. The lady is a neighbor from Oaxaca, a state in Mexico whose people are known for being in touch with the paranormal. This lady is no different. She looks at me and tell me that someone has spit on me. You gotta be kidding me. JPEG. I had not told anyone about this fight as I had never been spit on before or since. Logically, I deny it out of shock. Lady looks at me and says that I have touched something dark, something made of magic. I am visibly shocked now. I confess the voodoo doll incident to the lady and my mom. Lady says I need a cleansing and that it will take a while because the magic is strong. Just my luck. For the next few weeks I keep seeing a shadow at night standing across the living room where I am sleeping. Shit bricks every night. I've had sleep paralysis before, but this shadow is overwhelming. As I continue to perform the cleansings, the shadow shows up less and less until it no longer appears. Before this event, I was completely atheist and did not believe in the paranormal, but this experience left me doubtful. How the hell did the lady know that I was spit on or about the voodoo doll? My mom said that the lady has the third eye open. I suppose there is more to reality than what we can perceive, because there is no fucking way anyone could have known the events that happened with my ex. I finally get to tell this one. I'm not bullshitting either, by the way. This really happened. Be me. College sophomore. Eating lunch in the cafeteria with college bro. College bro works for the cafeteria, but it has his day off. One of his co-workers come over to shoot the shit. We're all in viewing distance of this buggy that has toasters. Next to one of the toasters was this butter knife somebody left behind. While we're talking, swoosh. Fucking flies off buggy on its own. It floats for a second. It falls straight down to the floor. Me, college bro, and cafe worker all seen it. Cafe worker freaks the fuck out and tells us the cafeteria is haunted by the ghost of a recently passed employee. Other cooks have seen plates fly off shelves and shit like that. She also tells me something about a psychic professor on campus who would fuck with his students by doing shit like that. A few weeks later, she comes back and tells me one of the campus police officers seen the footage of the knife and said there was nobody around to move the knife. Of course, my view on the world changes. Eventually, the skeptic in me comes out and I think that all this is some kind of elaborate prank by college bro. Skip to a year ago. Working the same on-campus job as college bro. Looks into his leftover files on the work computer like the nosy autist I am. Finds one of his essays. Fuck it, I'm getting paid to do nothing. MP4. Reads essay and it mentions he saw a ghost in the cafeteria. Nope. My face when I caught the ghost of an old cook lady trolling her old co-worker.